Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your September astrological overview. So we are finally going to be moving out of some of these interplanet retrogrades that have been going on over the summer. So I think we're really going to get the sense of slowly waking up from sort of a sluggish time, maybe a time where it was hard to get motivated. So as we begin September, both Venus and Mercury are going to be retrograde, along with nearly all the outer planets. However, things start to shift pretty quickly. Venus will station direct on September the 3rd, and Mercury will station direct on the 15th. So the second half of the month is going to be the time for gradual movement forward. We can use the first half of September to put a wrap on works in progress and review some of our goals. The new moon on the 14th is going to be in Virgo, and that offers an excellent opportunity to refine our intentions and focus on the next steps forward. So we might have a few things move quickly this month, even though in general it's sort of a gradual build. We could see some shakeups. I might think in the arts, the tech industry, and maybe the economy, and that's due to Uranus and Pluto working together in a trine. And so we've got that going on, and we're also going to have Jupiter station retrograde on September 4th. So you might think, oh, another retrograde, but unlike the interplanet retrogrades, the outer planet retrogrades tend to create more of a backdrop. It probably won't mess us up as much on a day-to-day basis when we're trying to get A to B. But when we're thinking big picture plans, I think we do need to consider what we can do for ourselves while Jupiter is retrograde. So that's going to happen September 4th, and that cycle will last until December the 30th. And we'll be dealing with themes of luck and opportunity, but the results are really kind of falling on us. So when Jupiter's direct, we're more likely to attract beneficial circumstances that are offered by others. And when it turns retrograde, it moves the energy inward and requires us to kind of make our own luck. So it's not an unproductive time at all. But if you have something big that you're thinking you're going to maybe receive some outside assistance or present your big idea to others, you may be building towards this over the next few months, and think of everything that you can accomplish on your own without having to try to get other people on board just yet. Now, in the big picture, we could see businesses and other organizations working on their internal processes during this time and developing ideas that don't require external resources. One example could be a company or agency seeking a grant, for example. Between September 4th and December 30th, it's going to be a great time to do all the work required to apply for a grant. And then the results of those efforts could pay off once Jupiter is direct. That's one example. And so as we're exiting 2023, remember December 30th, that's when Jupiter will station direct. So the early part of 2024, it's actually going to be a pretty great time to take what we've created out into the world and attract others who will support and expand our vision. Now, let's get into some of the astrology with the inner planets here. We're going to have Venus stationing direct in Leo on September 3rd, as I mentioned. And this has been in retrograde since July 22nd. This recent Venus retrograde cycle has helped us to gain closure on the past, particularly where love and money have been involved. With Venus in the sign of Leo, our own creative expression was also quite a big focus, and many people reconnected with their inner desire to be seen and appreciated. This retrograde energy has been all about balancing our ego and finding the healthy equilibrium between being overly self-centered and abandoning ourselves. We want to find that healthy balance in between those two extremes. So after September 3rd, Venus will be moving forward in Leo all month, which will offer us the opportunity to take action on some of the ideas that may have emerged in the past 6 weeks. For anyone who's been pondering relationship decisions, more clarity will be available to you as the month unfolds, especially after the 15th, when Mercury will station direct. So keep in mind, we're not going to clear the shadow phase of this Venus retrograde cycle till October 7th. The shadow phase is when Venus finally catches up to where it was right before the retrograde started, when it gets to that degree before it started going backwards. That will take until October 7th. But that doesn't mean you can't move forward with things between now and then. I would say if you have something very important, or maybe you have a very significant purchase to make and you have the latitude to waiting until after October 7th could be a great idea to get the strongest astrological support possible, but it's not necessary. In the meantime, September is really a great month for preparatory work, taking small steps forward. If you're wishing to make more moderate life changes, this month is a great idea, great time to start implementing some new ideas. So then, okay, we get the Venus direct, then we get the Mercury direct. Mercury stationed retrograde on August 23rd in the sign of Virgo. It's going to station direct September 15th. And this Mercury retrograde cycle has been all about circling back on our efforts to review the details and discover anything we've overlooked or any errors that may have occurred. So it's actually very helpful for us when a planet like Mercury that rules our thoughts and reviewing the details, especially in a sign like Virgo, when it goes to retrograde, it's helping us prevent future headaches, actually, because we have a chance to go back and catch anywhere where we may have been rushing and overlooked something. So I feel grateful for Mercury retrogrades for this reason. And Mercury is the planetary ruler of Virgo, so it really packed a punch this past Mercury retrograde. I think maybe some people got caught up in the pull to criticize their past efforts. Their minds might have circled over the same territory obsessively. Oops. Gotta really watch that during these Mercury retrograde in Virgo. But now with Mercury moving forward, we'll have the chance to keep using this astrology to get ourselves organized. Mercury is going to be moving forward in Virgo after the 15th throughout September. And we're not going to clear the shadow phase of this retrograde cycle until the 28th. However, as I was saying, the whole second half of the month should feel really good to start getting things together, getting more clarity on decisions, and actually implementing forward-moving steps. I call it the cosmic yellow light when we're moving forward during the shadow phase just after a planet has stationed direct. So proceed with new ideas and agreements, and just double check that you're on the same page with everybody. It's a really supportive astrology for writers or people working on detail-oriented projects. As the month progresses, it's going to be a lot easier to decide what are our priorities, and we can solidify our plans and begin, as I said, moving towards some new goals. And the steps we take this month are really giving us a strong foundation to take some bigger leaps forward in October, when we're really out of all these shadow energies. So next we have the planet Mars moving into Libra, and it's in Libra all month until October 12th. And as I mentioned last month, Mars is in its detriment in Libra. Maybe I said it on the video, maybe I wrote it in my article, I can't remember. However, we have a visitor. This is my cat. He came to say hello. Okay, so we have Mars in Libra, which is often in its detriment, meaning it doesn't express itself optimally. With Libra being a sign of diplomacy and Mars kind of like that bold warrior energy, there can be conflicted energy when Mars is in this sign. And this is good to be aware of all month long. We might be struggling to find the best way to assert ourselves in healthy ways. People are more apt to let their anger out in, unfortunately, passive-aggressive ways under this astrology. So we need to be more aware of how we're approaching conflict, and we can work on being direct and to the point. Maintain a positive problem-solving attitude would be my advice for this. Um, and Mars and Libra can be harnessed productively when we team up with others to tackle challenges. And instead of thinking that we're alone in our struggles, we can recognize the strength available when we combine forces. So this is great astrology for standing up for the underdog, as well as taking the high road. And let's check out the Virgo new moon. That's going to be September 14th. And this is a great time to set intentions that have to do with Virgo themes. And that can be things like planning, organization, errands, handling details, jobs, diet and exercise, your daily routines, orderly environments. You get the idea. If you have been trying to get it together in one way or the other, then I think this new moon is going to be super helpful. Just remember, we are within the Mercury retrograde cycle. Just the day before Mercury goes direct. And so I would take your time in compiling your wish list to make sure your wish sits well with your gut instinct before deciding whether you're committing it to the page. And Jan Spiller always recommended handwriting these new moon wishes rather than typing or just saying them out loud. So I think that that rule really holds up well. There's some connection between the hand and mind. I encourage you to handwrite your wishes. And the exact time of the new moon, you can find out by subscribing to janspiller.com. And we will send you all the information about themes of the new moon each month, the best times for wishing, because sometimes it's not always at the exact time of the new moon. And all the proceeds, when you subscribe to janspiller.com, go towards maintaining the site, which was Jan's vision for the future. Now, the final thing to take a look at this month is going to be this full moon on the 29th. It's a 6 degrees Aries full moon. And I think that it will be a pretty high energy time. As you probably know, Aries is a high energy fire sign. When the moon is full, it usually kind of amps up people's emotions. So I would keep kind of an eye out for people getting overly fired up about things. Even yourself thinking, is this really as big of a deal as I think it is? Because once we're a couple days past this full moon, you can often find that it really, was kind of blown out of proportion during that moment. So I usually advise taking a step back. But on the fun side, when the new moon's in a very energetic sign such as Aries, it can be a time to really shine. You might access greater courage, be willing to step into the spotlight in some way, especially if you are an Aries person. But anybody can kind of access this energy at this full moon and really decide, okay, this is very important to me. See what kind of courage you need to muster up to do something that means a lot to you. That full moon can really help you with that. And it can also show if you've been taking steps in that direction and really stepped up for yourself. You may see results from your efforts around this time. So I hope you can make the most of September's astrology. We're finally going to be getting some things going this month, and I look forward to your forecast next month. Be safe and be well.